Live. Let me see if this is doing anything. Well, we're supposed to be live. We're live somewhere. Oh, look!
It's Phil Feinman. It's Phil Feinman, everybody.
We should let him know we're live.
We think we're live.
We're live. No, we have to, but I can't figure out who needs to go where because this is switched. No, I need to go there. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. And good to see you, Cosmo. It's only been a day since I saw your face.
Good to see you, Phil. And as usual, Inca is here. Get over there.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
She's going to bother us the whole podcast, and it's really going to annoy CV, but it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I should have worn my sunglasses, too, inside.
And I hope Otis has his own camera.
I feel, Bert, you're getting cut off. This is going to have to be really close. I feel we could.
Booties.
Whatever. I mean, we've already shared our COVID, if that's what's happening here.
Could you just sit there? Could you lay down? Could you lay down?
Sorry, you're witnessing all of this.
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, should we just get started, or do we need to wait for our,
Did you want to do drums?
Thousands of fans to tune in. No, I don't want to move a thing.
Don't be disparaging. There are probably some people scrolling through, and I'm going to tag you. Maybe I can't figure out how to do all this right now. Anyway, I'm going to put that down. I'm going to pull the notes
There's
up.
a lot of technology going on.
There's an iPad
right here.
Where are you, Phil? Phil of Bedrock Recording Studio.
I'm in LA. I don't know how familiar you are with Los Angeles, but I'm in Silver Lake. Is the neighborhood I'm in?
Yeah.
Just right down the street from Bedrock, which I will be going to as soon as we're done here because I have to work all day.
Home is what you're saying.
I'm home. Yes,
okay.
I'm at home.
How is that?
It looks like I'm just in a pretty nondescript room. I'm in my
It kind of looks like if Zoom had prison had Zoom.
Like a TV right there. I got my dog here, which I'll grab.
Yeah, grab Otis. Why don't you show everybody your ridiculous home speakers?
Oh, look at that little cutie!
Yeah, oh. This is Otis. He's like the Bedrock mascot, you know?
I was going through your IG and I was seeing lots of pictures of him.
Yeah. He's old.
He looks old.
Surveys have shown that they'd much rather look at Otis than me or anyone else. So
he puts up with anything. Look at him. He doesn't care.
You guys kind of have similar facial hair.
Yeah, kind of.
Otis or me?
No, but all three of you actually.
Well, you did too until you shaved for this podcast.
This is true. You know, I waxed actually. Yeah. So the wall of speakers behind you.
Yeah, I have these giant speakers. These are some Onkyo speakers, the only pair ever made by Onkyo. These like weird hi-fi speakers from the 80s that they just made one of.
The camera's not doing it justice. These are like speakers that belong in probably a club that can support.
They're like the height of me, pretty much. They're like they're like 6 feet tall. And then I built my background is in electronics, so I built like this tube amp, this like hi-fi tube amp to run music through them. So that's like my home audio setup. It's great.
Yeah, no judgment here, man. I'd do the same if I could make a tube amp.
I'd take you one.
Yeah.
I could ask a lot of questions.
You're not busy or anything. Yeah, you can just one of those right out.
So,
are we actually starting?
Yeah, we are.
It's 3 p.m.
This is Accidental Zodiac, a podcast where I, CV Henriette of ART of the Zodiac, interview people. We sometimes talk astrology, sometimes not. Cosmo gave me your birth information so I can like creep on you as we have this conversation.
We have Cosmo and I have some pretty funny related birth information. So
I know this Capricorn.
But did you notice? We have the exact same birthday.
Oh my god. Pay attention. I look at charts.
Not the same year though. I'm older. But,
I didn't even like.
Phil's about 13 years older.
I was just looking because I was in a rush and I was like, "Wow, you guys have a lot of this happening." This is just me admitting I don't know Cosmo's birthday.
That's all right.
Shitty.
Everybody forgets it. Phil and I were both born on December 27th.
Oh wait, I think I did. I think in my head that went through.
Corns.
I think in my head that did. I was like, "Is this Cosmo's birthday?" And then I forgot to actually resolve that question in my head.
The confusion is real.
Do you guys ever like? Where's your moon?
We're not going to talk about the one time we celebrated our birthday together. That is.
You know what?
What happened?
We've celebrated our birthday together a couple of times, but I know the one time you're talking about that we will now not talk about.
Yeah.
Does Cosmo have a worse temper?
Mm-hmm.
Towards me or towards our employees?
Towards anyone. That's why he's wearing sunglasses.
I was only mean to my nephew because I just expected more. I'm nice to the employees, I think.
Nothing angers Cosmo more than the cymbal felts not being on the stands when you go into a rehearsal room.
Yeah.
It will send him into a blind rage.
Yes. I will destroy the room.
Yeah.
That's the number one way to just bust up your cymbals if you don't keep felts.
Or not putting the microphones in the case.
Yeah, I yelled at her for not putting the microphone back in the case. But then I realized it was her mic, and then I stopped caring.
Right.
I left the light on for like 3 days.
Get you. That's the biggest pet peeve I know of Cosmo.
Yeah. Oh, and also leaving lights on. She left this big video light on for 3 days. I had no idea. Fortunately, it's LED, so it didn't burn the house down. But you remember the old school video lights? That thing would have just caught on fire after a few hours. And
Right. Yes.
And I have burned things down.
she's burned a few things down. No company will insure her.
It's a bad joke. At any rate, are you from? I was like, are you from Detroit, Phil?
I'm not from
Did you have
Detroit,
family
nor
there,
am I from Los Angeles. I grew up on Long Island, beautiful
Okay.
Long Island, New York. But I've been in Los Angeles for, I don't know, 12 years now, something like that.
Okay. I only that my brain went to that because I was like, oh, I used to have a restaurant here. It still exists. Some partners. There's a fire, and then I remembered there's a Detroit connection with you, and I didn't know if you knew it. That was very long-winded, but you've been here before, right? I think there was a Detroit connection. Like your wife.
Yes. I have been there before. Cosmo and I own a house together down the street from where you guys are at, I assume. You're in Cosmo's basement right now, it looks like. So
We are. I mean,
Yeah.
but we're not going to disclose the address in case the zero
Sure.
people could stalk you.
Our other partner, who's not on the call, has also been here and has been to your restaurant with me.
But does he have a house here?
His in-laws have a house here.
His wife's family lives there.
Yeah, St. Clair First.
There's a big connection. But
Mhm.
but at any rate, I digress. What I really want to know, what happened when you spent your birthday together that time that you don't want to talk about?
Oh, it was just a bonkers time that went a little out of control because wasn't there a third person with our same birthday? That I don't remember. It was a bunch of people from Bedrock. It started at Little Joy, which is the bar down the street that we always like to go to. And, it just
spiraled out of control. I don't remember a lot of it, honestly.
yeah.
That's how far it spiraled.
That's why we can't talk about it. It's not because we don't want to.
You just don't remember it.
We're not sure what happened, and our lawyers haven't been able to get a hold of the police report. So,
did you wake up near each other with the separate places, different parts of the
No,
Mm-mm.
I was at home.
Okay,
no,
you made it home.
I slept like a log. I woke up in the fireplace.
So, look, we have someone. Let's tell them what Bedrock LA is.
Phil, what's Bedrock LA?
Bedrock LA is a music rehearsal and recording studio in Los Angeles. I believe Cosmo calls it the Disneyland. It's like Disneyland for musicians.
Legally, we're not allowed to say that.
It's like the place with the mouse, for musicians. We have 9 hourly rehearsal studios, so we get a lot of local and touring musicians just coming in just to practice and stuff like that. We have We have 2 recording studios, and then a lot of the building is like people's private lockouts. So we've had some pretty big names, I guess, have lockouts over the years.
Are you allowed to share? Are there any?
Because they don't have. I'll share you ones that don't currently have rooms at Bedrock.
Okay.
So we have like Izza from The Machine, from Florence and the Machine, has had a room with us. Flying Lotus has had a room with us. Brian Bell, the guitar player from Weezer, has had a room with us. What's that actor? What's that actor guy? What's
Ryan
from Dead
Gosling?
Man's Bones? It was
Ryan
real
Gosling.
early days.
What was Ryan Gosling doing
Ryan
there?
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling had a room with us.
What was he doing there?
He was
He has
doing
a band called Dead Man's Bones. I'm not plugging the band. I don't really live. Never heard them before in my life. So
he was working with the Silver Lake Conservatory, and I think which is a nonprofit music education.
Okay.
So I think he was working with some kids and doing some kind of musical
this
play.
was early. Like he wasn't super famous at the time.
Okay.
He was pretty famous.
Was he?
Yeah,
I mean, I think he was like in some stuff, but I don't think he was like the heartthrob he is now. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Wait, do you think the Nope?
Oh, Death from Above. That would be my favorite band.
Death from Above, 1979 has had a lockout with us.
Le Maitre, the electronic band. Le Maitre.
Are they French?
Sure. Yep. They
Yeah.
have to. Yeah. So quite a diverse group. You know, all kinds of stuff.
And we who we used to host in rehearsal all the time, and who was one of my favorite people was Nipsey Hussle.
That's right. He was one of our earliest clients.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's really sad.
Yes, it was really sad what happened to him. But yeah, he was one of our earliest supporters. You know.
And that's what's cool about Bedrock is like every style of music is represented in there, and we have like cumbia bands, and it's all over the place. There's hip hop, there's a lot of rock, there's a lot of Americana, there's country,
electronic music, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Remember that time that they were doing a benefit concert for like a really well-known roadie and guitar tech, and we had all those famous guitar players in room F?
Yes, it was like Jackson Brown, Dave Alvin,
Peter Frampton.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, there were more too. It was like just
I think Tom Morello was there for a minute.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Hey,
I'm sorry, I'm distracted. There's a dog licking me.
I'm probably going to put her out of the room because
we've seen enough of her. Could she go do her con thing in the other room?
Yes, come on. Out. You can't be social. You gotta go. Bye.
So, what I really want to ask is, have any of those people trashed your studios?
We have only one person. I don't know if we should even talk about it, but we did have to kick one person out of Bedrock. I'll let Phil decide whether that's a story for.
I don't think we should talk about it. He's well known, and I'm not in the business of trash talking people. Really,
yeah,
I wouldn't expect you to share, but it has happened before.
It happened one time, right?
No, I mean we've had to kick other people out in the earlier days.
But not for trashing the place.
Well, I mean,
living there, maybe.
Yes. No, for trashing. Also for trashing the place.
Okay, well, I can think of one very.
It's infrequent.
Yeah. No, people generally like Bedrock.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
40,000 square feet.
40,000 square feet. Something.
Well, we don't know how much of usable square feet we have, but
we have 108 rooms in the building. I can tell you that.
We have 108.
That's a lot of rooms.
Yes, and they vary in size. Some are big, some are
a closet. Yeah.
So I feel that you've been doing this since 2008, Cosmo. Am I right?
I think 2009.
Okay.
Is when we incorporated.
So I feel that this is probably a really good example of how Los Angeles has changed so much in the last decade. Because I feel, could you rent that much space now? Like that feels like a lot of space.
Oh yeah, if we tried to get that building today, we couldn't build a studio. We got that building because we got extremely lucky. It was during a recession. It was a former jewelry manufacturing plant. Couldn't be a jewelry manufacturing plant anymore because some of the materials they used became outlawed for use in the States. So jewelry manufacturing moved to China where anything goes. The building had no windows. It was an all brick building. And the area was zoned in such a way that there was almost, you couldn't have like any manufacturing in that zone anymore. It's like a industrial arts district.
Okay.
So, we worked directly with the owner of the building and figured out a way to build it over time and not have to pay an exorbitant lease. And
And I've heard a little bit of that story. And I know, like, so Cosmo, you kind of spearheaded it on your own. And then Phil, you guys came together, right? Like later on?
Yeah, I had a vision for part of it, but I never intended to try to do the whole thing myself. I mean, I had my other consulting business running too. And so when Phil came in and I realized he could fix anything that plugs into the wall, I was like, oh, this guy, I gotta make sure he sticks around.
So is that what is your, like, because I know Cosmo's background, you're a musician, you were a touring musician your whole life, and you had an ad agency too, but like that, like you were
I was just a player in bands.
Yeah.
Sometimes work for hire, sometimes my own band.
And Phil, is that sort of your experience too?
Not at all.
So I played in bands and stuff growing up. It was never like a professional player or anything. So ended up becoming an electrical engineer.
Okay.
So that's my background. And out of school and even in school, started working for a company called Telefunken, which makes very, very expensive microphones.
Okay.
And so I kind of ended up, it was a really small company at the time, ended up being kind of the head designer for this brand. This brand's been around for 100+ years. So it's like a pretty historical, well-respected brand.
Yeah.
And so I spent some time working for them, making microphones for like all kinds of pop stars and whatever, stuff like that. And then decided, they were based in Connecticut, was, nothing against Connecticut. It's not a place I really wanted to spend my youth, So I decided to move to LA, and ended up working. My first job when I moved here, ended up working at East West Studios, which is like the former Cello Studios, which is another it's one of the 5 big, like really expensive recording studios in LA.
Okay.
They're famous for that studio's famous for having done Pet Sounds, the Beach Boys record, as well as a lot of other stuff, a lot of rock music in the 90s out of there. But anyway, I was maintaining equipment there for a little while and decided to go out on my own. I was looking for my own, to just start my own shop maybe. I had found Cosmo at Bedrock, who I don't know how long you were there at the time. They were
What year did you roll through first time?
2009.
So I hadn't been there very long.
Yeah. Anyway, so I talked to Cosmo about it. I ended up taking just a space in the building as a tech, just my own shop. So people from around LA would bring me stuff to fix, and
that shop was called
the Reanimation Station. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
He had a good logo too, and I had nothing to do with it. He provided it on his own.
Yes, I have a friend that was a graphic designer prior to meeting Cosmo. So, anyway, yeah. So that's how I got into the building. Not being an owner, just in the building. I don't know, Cosmo.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened from there, Cosmo. I mean, eventually the guy who was running the building got forced out. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it started out as a real messy clusterfuck of a situation, and it was just, for me, it was an experiment on, well, what's possible. So let's just try it.
Because originally you kind of got in there, right? Because you were supposed to have like other partners, and they dipped right before you came in, something like that, right? It was a whole thing?
Originally the plan for the building was going to be a brew pub and a rehearsal studio.
Still sounds really...
And a hotel? Oh, the top floor was going to be a hotel?
Sounds terrible.
That was really not something I believed would ever happen. But I kind of thought, well, maybe there's a world, because it's technically 2 separate buildings put together. Maybe there's a chance they could pull off a brew pub and a rehearsal studio, but the chances were slim, and slim's out of 10.
So you went up to the building, and then Phil has the reanimation station. He's fixing things.
Well, we kind of all took the building together, right? Like,
okay.
Yeah, like Cosmo's previous partners kind of left. I think they were out of money or whatever. Like they were done. And I remember Cosmo coming to me and Kamran. Kamran was in there for, I don't know, he just had an office in there.
Kamran was pretty much there from the beginning too, and all of us were not sure what we were going to do. And fortunately, I had established an actual business and the brand. So that's really how we were able to continue, because that was all intellectual property that was ours. And the only only business actually operating and making money in the building. So we just took over the whole building.
What was Comron doing? Because you had the reanimation station, and you had
Comron was trying to. He was basically focused on the recording studio.
He's your third brother for people who are listening to this in the future.
Comron V,
and he has the fest for. I'm going to pronounce it wrong.
He used to. He's not still a part of Moogfest, but one time he was one of the stakeholders, I believe.
I think I said Moog once, and
people say Moog, people say Moog. I don't know. We could argue about which one is more acceptable. I mean, the dude's name was Bob Moog, right?
Yeah, it's Moog.
That would be Moog then. Why would it be Moog if his name is Moog?
Well, because it's spelled Moog, and you just want to say Moog.
It's fun. It's more fun to say Moog, but it's wrong.
But then they had these line of pedals called Mooger Foogers. They weren't called Moger Foogers.
Moger Fogers.
Anyway, there's three of you.
Bedrock's so much easier to say, so that's
Sure is, yeah.
So something happened. You all came together.
Yeah, they approached me, honestly. I won't take credit for it. They approached me, and they were like, you look like you can do stuff. Do you want to, like, join in on this? You want to join in on this? And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Sure, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. And now he knows what he's doing with
what are you doing with your life?
I run Bedrock. I run the day-to-day at Bedrock. Comron runs more of the, like, overall dealing with the city, dealing with the bigger stuff. But I run the day-to-day. I deal with the staff and I'm the human resources department, and I fix stuff.
And the complaint department, I believe.
And the complaint department, yeah.
And you take care of the mascot.
Yes.
And I take care of the mascot. That's a big job. And that's what I'm doing over there. It's fun. It's great. It's nice that we're like getting back going now. The pandemic really did a number on us. But it's cool to see people coming back, and they're super excited to be playing music after like a year plus of not,
I feel like this is a whole, like, I was writing down questions for you, but I didn't ask, like, what's the last year been like? What's COVID look like when you run a giant recording studio?
It looks like zero business is what it looks like. Yeah. Yep. That's what it looks like. Looks like a big old empty building.
I think the only thing that kind of sort of kept running were people that had private rooms in there. I mean, were they allowed to come and go?
Yeah. Yep. People have private rooms, so those people were doing their thing. But our bread and butter is hourly rehearsals. That's where we make the bulk of our money. And that was, it was forced to be closed for a while, and then we opened in the summer. It was very, very slow. We closed again in January because COVID numbers were really crazy in LA. Reopened in February, and now we're doing like a steady climb back, trying to get normal, right? I would say even at this time, we're probably about at a third of the business that we were getting. So it's still quite slow, but the staff is way more slimmed down. I think at our peak, we were employing close to a dozen people, and now we employ 3.
Wow.
So our primary goal is to figure out how to bring back our staff. So we need business to pick up a bit, and that's the most immediate goal.
Have you expanded your retail offerings, or have you switched your business model around at all during the pandemic?
No.
Yeah, not really. It's tough. I mean, the retail was always built to just service the clientele that was already coming in. So we sell sticks and strings and just disposable items, random cables that people need on a regular basis. And it was never really built to be selling like tons of guitar amps and tons of whatever, like bigger ticket items, which has always been fun. We've done really, really well selling the disposable stuff. But obviously when people aren't coming in the door to rehearse, you're not selling much of it and changing that up for what, knock on wood, is a temporary situation just didn't seem to make sense. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
All true.
He explained what he does at Bedrock. What do you do at Bedrock?
These days, I do very little. I might design an ad or something like that.
You just did an Amoeba ad for us, which is great.
Oh yeah, by the way, you sent me. There's a couple. Okay, wait. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know what I can talk about. But you did this Amoeba thing. That's a thing you're doing together. That's public.
Oh, we've always advertised.
Because you sent me a video.
Amoeba.
That's the thing I can't.
Oh no, yeah, that.
Okay, but the Amoeba thing. So what is that?
I showed her the submission video.
Oh yeah,
because I was really proud of your work.
Thanks.
But,
thanks.
Hopefully that's something that we can talk about it at a later time.
Hopefully.
So I moved to Detroit originally before the pandemic with the goal of opening a version of what we have in LA here.
Yeah.
And I was definitely making progress, and we'll get back to it again.
You have a recording studio in your basement.
I have a recording studio in my basement here that is fully functional and powered by awesome Telefunken microphones.
So I have a question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've known each other for like what 11 since you moved to Los Angeles, right? So
Yeah,
like
so
11 12
Close,
years.
yeah, within the year of me moving to LA, yeah.
So like over a decade.
Yeah.
How has the other person changed since you've met? And do you still like working with each other, or is that why Cosmo moved to Detroit?
No, I definitely like working with Phil. Phil is.
I probably changed a lot more. Man. I think what was I 22 when we met?
I know, but yeah, you're still the same guy. Yeah, he's just like he's a solid guy. He doesn't go through different phases like a lot of musicians. They go through all these different characters and stuff like that. But not Phil.
Steady.
He's steady.
Do you see anything that pops out at you?
I don't understand any of what you're looking at.
We're looking at your chart right now, Phil, is what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
Great. I also know nothing about astrology.
That's a very busy area.
Yeah, so he just gets to talk about it. We're not going to talk details. You have a busy area.
Like all your stuff is in between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock, and then 12 to 3 is totally empty.
Do you think that fits his personality?
I'm not equipped to.
I mean, do you think he's a kind of all the steady on one side type of personality?
If that chart says that, then I agree.
Okay.
This is all very confusing. How do your listeners keep up?
I don't know. I don't know if they do. There's two of them. How has Cosmo changed since?
Cosmo, how have you changed? I don't know. It's pretty similar. I don't feel like Cosmo's changed terribly.
I am.
Yeah. I don't know. Cosmo's always been just a creative powerhouse,
I got older.
I don't know if that's changed.
Oh, that's right. Phil did all. Yeah, Phil. I think we got the same amount of older, but I don't know. I lost weight since.
That's true.
Weight. Yeah. I don't know. I definitely have become a better musician because when you have a studio in your basement and can play all the time, that's all the difference in the world. So I do feel like I'm really on top of my game as far as playing drums, playing guitar. And
do you ever play music together?
No,
we really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil did his band stuff before Bedrock.
Yeah, and now I'll just play like some guitar for myself or something like that. I don't really play. Yeah,
I think you've played on some stuff that's been recorded at Bedrock, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I play. I'm not good at it, but I played euphonium growing up, which is like
Wait, can we talk about this? I don't even know what that is.
It's like a tuba, but smaller. It's in the trombone range.
What's it called? A euphonium?
Yeah, or a baritone horn. Euphonium is the proper name.
I like euphonium more. Baritone
it's way more fun to say.
So how long did you play that, and why did you stop?
I played it through school, my formative years.
There's not a lot of jobs for euphonium players.
And I stopped after college. I played in big band in college. I played in a big band. And then that
was it?
was it. You know, I didn't really continue after that.
And
Not because it wasn't fun, but there's just like, you know, it's not really, unless you're like playing in the symphonic band regularly, it's not something I'm gonna like sit down and like work on my chops. You know.
What big band were you in? Where did you go to school? That sounds so fascinating.
Oh yeah, I went to the University of Hartford, so the Hart School of Music had a big band, which was pretty sick, honestly. Like those guys were monster players. It was awesome. Except me, you know, I was playing like fifth trombone part on the euphonium, but super fun. Yeah, it was totally fun. One of the guys that was in that band with me is now a marijuana lawyer out here in Los Angeles. So there you have it.
Yes, when marijuana gets in trouble, this guy represents it.
Yep, that's right. He's bailing it out.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you have any more jokes, Cosmo?
Nothing written. But there may be more. I don't know. Ask the right questions. Get the worst jokes.
Okay, I actually have questions. So, who is like since you've been running a recording studio in Los Angeles for like over a decade, like, do you have any favorite bands that you have recorded there, and any bands that you now hate because they've recorded there?
I'm not going to talk about bands that we hate. I don't really like to do that.
Yes.
Not great press for us. But bands
your heart, there has to be one.
For Weird Al, we did Weird Al's record. Weird Al is a great guy, super humble guy. We won a Grammy for his record. It was #1 on the Billboard charts. He spent, 3 months with us doing that record. Really cool. So that's up there on favorites for sure.
Like, if you spend so much time at the recording studio, did you guys have like lunch? You're like, hey, do you need a break? Do you want to eat lunch with us?
God, yes.
Al was chill because he would just eat lunch in the lobby. So he would just be like eating lunch in the lobby, and like, some 15-year-old kids would come in to rehearse or something, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's Weird Al's just like hanging out here eating lunch," and he'd be like, "Yeah, hi," And he was like, cool.
My understanding of Weird Al predate. It's like I don't have any memories that are like shorter than like 20 years ago or something. Mm-hmm. Like, what is he like?
He's just a nice guy.
Yeah, he's been the same guy.
Does he wear sweaters?
He
Maybe.
doesn't wear shoes.
That's a thing to talk about.
I'll tell you what's cool about him is he's had like the same band for his entire career.
Yeah, they come rehearse with us too, and the whole band, like Bermuda Shorts, I think is the name of his drummer. Same guys forever, and they kill it. I mean, they can play every style of music, right? That's what Al does. He just he parodies all music, and so these guys can just nail every tone and every part of any type of music. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be fun because you're never just playing the same stuff over and over. Like bands, after a while when they tour, they just get tired of playing their hits. It's a thing.
Yeah, they're playing like Michael Jackson, Iggy Azalea, Coolio. They're like really running the gamut on what they're doing.
Yeah.
So he's still doing it.
Yeah, he's had a career for 35 years maybe.
I believe the record we did was his last. He was signed to a huge contract on RCA.
Okay.
Like 11 records or something insane. And I'm pretty sure the record we did was his last record on contract. And so now I think he can focus more on like releasing singles in like a little bit more of a timely fashion, rather than like having to build up an album's worth of material to release all at once. Which I think like these days in like the YouTube world and in the parody industry is probably best, right? Like you want to be like real quick to the point.
That's an interesting thing. So like we don't have to go down that now, but to think about how like Weird Al paved the road for like TikTok and like that. Well, that's another conversation because you have some like famous TikTok.
Oh, yeah, we had
Billboard.
Wasn't there
Jeff Ellis? I'll bring up Jeff Ellis. I'll stroke that guy's ego a little bit. I don't know if he'll watch this or not, but he loves a good ego stroke. That guy.
There was this one band that just like got 1 point something billion plays on TikTok because they made a video that was kind of designed for TikTok. Is
that
that right?
the guy?
Yeah, I think they had TikTok in mind while releasing the song. Like they released it to TikTok. I'm not a TikToker, so I'm not familiar fully with how it works. But my understanding is when you make a video, there's like a list of songs you can like pick from to be like kind of the background music of your video. And so these guys had like one of the first songs like up on that, you know. And
so they you can actually I sound just so old. I'm like, you can make a song that other people can use and put it there. Is what's happening.
You can do it. Yeah.
So these guys was baby no money is the guy's name. And Jeff, I believe, mastered the song.
I thought the band was called Y2K.
Oh yeah, Y2K. Baby no money, I think, is also in it, and he produced it. Maybe that's
okay. Yeah, the song is called La La La, which is
and double platinum. Thanks to TikTok.
And Bedrock, because you said he recorded it with you.
Jeff mastered it at Bedrock. Yeah.
One of the guys that's at Bedrock at the time.
Okay.
Did it.
But it happened in your studio, so you can call it.
Part of it. Wasn't some of the video filmed in our studio?
I don't know. Maybe.
Actually, that's another interesting thing is we've been used for film and TV spots a lot, and often it's just because they need a recording studio session or setting, and it doesn't have anything to do with music. That's another fun fact about Bedrock.
Do they pay well?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do they ever trick you? They're like, "Oh, we just want to record here," and they end up using it. That's illegal, isn't it?
No, we keep an eye on that. They do. We always ask them exactly what they're doing, and you know they have parameters they have to agree to. But yeah, well, I think we made more money renting out our back lot to Netflix than we do off a day's worth of recording studio. So
Thanks, Netflix. Shout out to Netflix.
Yeah, please come film more. Our parking lot is your parking lot.
What do they do in your parking lot?
Parked.
They just use it for parking.
I thought they were like doing something special, like doing.
Yeah, they're filming on the street or whatever, and they need the crew to park, so they'll pay.
It was a Will Smith movie, and they were doing like this big car chase, and some live stunt scene right there on Glendale Boulevard. I think they did it in the middle of the night or something.
I don't know. Yeah, they rented the lot for like a week. It was awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
So we have Netflix, Weird Al, the TikTok people.
Oh,
who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? Like who's favorite?
Well, for me, and I wasn't even there to see it, but I heard that Bootsy Collins was in our studio, and I'm not.
Collins. We've had Hawkwind. Hawkwind is rad. That's like a pretty cool one.
Yeah. George Clinton was in there.
Yep.
Was Snoop Dogg in there? I don't remember.
No, I think just
definitely played there.
Oh, we had Method Man though. I got a good picture of Method Man holding Otis.
Right. So we have 2 out of the 9 identifiable members of Wu-Tang Clan.
2 out of 9. That's pretty good.
Well, we're not getting ODB. That one's not happening.
Yeah. Maybe we can get Ghostface Killah someday. I don't know. Raekwon, shout out.
Yeah.
Home recorded Bedrock. What else? There's so many. I mean,
there's so many.
Yeah. I know all of them. Just to give your favorites.
They're like my favorite memories are things that like I can't even. They weren't like planned or anything. These things just happen, and sometimes you're just walking through the hallways and like you hear something and like, gosh, that sounds like Tom York, and then it is Tom York, and then you'll hear something else and go, gosh, that sounds like Snoop Dogg.
That happened to me. That happened to me once with Naked Eyes. Out of room F, I just hear like always something there to remind you. You know that song?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they're nailing it. And then I was just like, oh, because it's them. That's why. It's Naked Eyes. Yeah.
I know one. Her favorite band went there a lot. One of our best customers early days, Devendra Banhart.
Oh, you're a big Devendra fan.
Yeah. Who isn't?
Yeah. Sure, yeah. He's a regular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm a fan of his art too. Thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah. Very nice guy. Father John Misty, he's been a regular for a long time. Nice guy. They're all nice guys. Everyone's nice. Let me tell you that. Anybody who gives us money and rehearses at Bedrock they're great human beings.
Except for that one person who trashed it that we're not allowed to talk about because it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we won't talk about that.
No.
Yeah. But everyone else.
Yeah. Drugs are
love them all.
Yes. The other interesting thing is there's a surprising amount of actors that are also musicians.
That's right.
So
Thomas Lennon comes in
from Reno 911. He's a comedian.
Yeah, I know.
Morrissey cover band. Check them out. I don't know what they're called.
Sweet and Tender Hooligans.
Whoa.
Okay. Maya Rudolph comes in. She's got a Prince cover band called Princess. They slay. They're awesome.
John C. Riley.
John C. Riley's been in.
What's he doing?
He's got a blues band, kind of rock blues.
Juliette Lewis. Love Juliette Lewis. Her band rocks. They're very good.
The Licks.
The Licks, yep. What other actors? The guy McLovin, I played McLovin that comes in sometimes.
we already mentioned Ryan Gosling. I feel like there's more. I just can't pull. You got to understand, this is like 11 years of doing business and.
Yeah, I mean, when times are normal, we have 2,500, maybe up to 3,000 people coming in a week. So
wait, that's so many.
Yeah,
because you have like 100 rooms that people rent around that.
Well, we just have 108 rooms total.
Okay, but how many are like rent? So you have the people who just like rent them. They have their lockouts, like they have the keys, right?
That's
right. So maybe 95 of them are that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then though, but I'm saying that's not that like for thousands of people. I feel like that's a lot of in and out for hourlies.
Well, keep in mind that we're not just talking about hourlies. We're talking about our lockout clients, they usually share the room. So they might have 2 bands, they might have 3 bands that all share a lockout. So there's constant traffic coming in all the time, and then we have our clients that come in. We do get some people that are just coming in to buy stuff from the store. But we figured it out one time that it was because we're open from when we're running at full steam. We're open from
10 a.m. to
midnight, 7 days a week.
It's a lot of hours.
So,
wow.
I looked, Cosmo, because I was curious, just based on what I'm aiming for hours wise per day in hourly rehearsals now, and I was looking back at what we would get, and how many hours worth of rehearsal we would take in a day on an average day, and just looking through 2019. On an average day, we have 9 hourly rehearsal rooms, right? Open 10 a.m. to midnight, and we would have 90 to 100 hours worth of rehearsal a day. So that's a lot of people coming through. That's a lot of 2 to 4 hour bookings or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because by now we're like one of the only rehearsal studios left that isn't like a third encore SIR type situation, which isn't really affordable for the average musician.
What is that? Will you explain that? Because I don't even know what that is.
Those are
they're like sound stages that you rent out that can be $1,000+ a day.
Like we get big names in our place because they like the community and the vibe. But if they're touring stadiums, they set up on a sound stage, and we're just not that model. We were like the kind of a great middle part for working touring bands, and then there were a lot of smaller rehearsal studios that baby bands would go to, but all those went out of business. So
you're the last one standing. That's another question. Like, how has Los Angeles changed in the years since you've been there, and then how has that affected the sort of the culture at Bedrock, if it has?
That's a good question. Los Angeles has gotten significantly more expensive in the time that I've lived here.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood too has gotten, Echo Park has gotten significantly more expensive over the years. When we started Bedrock, the neighborhood was a little bit dicey.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is still a little bit dicey, but way more expensive. That's Los Angeles.
I just go by the amount of rent an apartment next door cost when we first started, which was around $800, and now it's like $2,700, and it's
The same
still
apartment.
the same apartment. It's not like they went in and blitzed it up or anything.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I don't. As far as like how our clientele has changed,
Like, I'm wondering if rents are going up. Does that affect like the people, like our people moving from LA, right? Or, like,
it's
they
really
leaving LA?
tough for bands that live in LA to live anywhere near close to Bedrock. It's hard for our staff to live close to Bedrock. It's something we're definitely not happy about, and that's one of the reasons I picked Detroit. Is I felt like this is a city where if I can open another location and musicians want to make this their home, they could actually afford to buy a house and focus on their art and their creativity without having to have 9 side hustles just to get the ridiculous rent paid and barely be able to work on music. It just doesn't seem very sustainable.
What are your thoughts, Phil, about the changes?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that. I mean, Los Angeles has its charm for sure. I do love LA. Detroit obviously is attractive for money reasons.
Yeah.
But I think LA is always going to be a hub for music and stuff like that. Like it's the entertainment hub of the world, and regardless of prices going up, I don't really see that changing. Yeah, yes, it does make people's lives a bit more difficult, but ultimately, like, this is the industry of LA, right? Is entertainment, and so yeah, I don't see that going away.
Plus, you can walk from the studio to the Dodgers game. Phil loves.
That is true. Love doing that.
Are they your favorite team?
No, Mets fan.
I
do root for the Dodgers.
Sports.
Phil will go to any baseball stadium that'll let him in. When he visited Detroit, the top.
Yeah, I was like, we're going. We got nice tickets. We got nice tickets to go to Comerica. That was fun. And it was a beautiful day, and the stadium was rad. You had never been there, right?
I had never been there, and I'm not much of a sports guy, but the stadium was awesome. The food was good. The seats were good.
Yeah, it was a fun hang.
Yeah.
Took me a minute to realize you were talking about baseball.
That's all right. That's the one with the football bat.
Do you know it's not sequitur questions. Usually I bring like a tarot deck and I like pull cards and we like talk and it's very exciting.
Yeah, this has gone nothing like the typical
and
accidental Zodiac.
Yeah, because I didn't want to put you on the spot and make you tell stories with us. Because I thought that I can really make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, what do you see with this? This is the only card I have to pull today.
It looks like space.
Yeah, it's very glittery though.
It's space.
Yeah, they're stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you see any particular star in this? It's glaring.
How can he possibly see that?
I don't know. We're playing a game.
Oh yeah, I see myself in the reflection of it.
What do you think that says about you?
That I'm self-reflective? I don't know.
This is not an actual tarot card though.
No, Valera tried to make me tarot cards, and then he said my boyfriend, and then he said that they scratched. So then he took them all away from me and gave me one. So it's a little painting. So what I want to know, actual question here, is right, like, what kind of camaraderie happens when you have a recording studio? Like, do you like get to like make like do you have people who've been staying there for years? And like, do you think that the studio itself has like contributed to sort of like the atmosphere of certain albums and things like this? Or just it's like it's place in your life, right? It's just a place of community.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a second home for me. Almost a first home. I spent so much time there. But as far as the camaraderie, I think it's the same camaraderie that like any group of people have making art. Right? I imagine people who work on a film or something experience the same camaraderie as people who work on an album, right? Or
yeah. Well, no, sorry to interrupt.
I
was going to ask if you could like.
I was going to clarify if like just because we have all these musicians concentrated in a community where they actually hang out, like on the front outside area, the smoking area.
Well, that's what I meant. Not the people necessarily who come to do like
So
one
there
album.
may have
the
been
people who've
bands
there,
that
like,
have formed because they were at Bedrock, and we might not even know it.
Yeah, I just meant like, yeah, because you have these people who like rent these spaces sort of longer term, and wondering if there is some sort of like
the ones
sessions or some sort of what evolves from there.
The ones that have rooms there are just like a part of Bedrock. So like, Jeff Ellis and George Earth and
there's a lot of people who come to Bedrock as their job, right? Like they have their own private room, but they're there every day to go to work, right? And those are people we have like an exceptionally strong rapport with because, I go to work there every day and so do they, right? So it's like, even though we're not co-workers, we're like cohabitating this space. And yeah, I mean, definitely like super strong relationships. There are people who have been there for years and years, there every day, And then, and there are people who have been there for years and then have left. And it's like, I genuinely like get sad. It's like not like I worked with them, but it's like I saw you every day. Like every day we chat for a little bit or whatever.
For sure. I mean, I got to play on stuff just because I was there and could do it.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I did 2 songs that I don't believe made the album, but when Florence and the Machine.
Okay.
Issa was recording their follow-up record to their big hit record. And just, needed some guitar, and I was there. If one time for Jeff, I went and played guitar. For Anton, I would go in all the time and play all kinds of stuff. And then when our engineers sometimes needed something, we always had someone that could do it. Ben, we should talk about our staff. Ben has been managing Bedrock for a long time. He's a bass player, and he also runs the Grand Ole Echo, which is I'm
gonna just tell you he's a guitar player, but he plays bass in some bands.
I know him as a bass player because
he's an unbelievable bass player, but I know that he likes to play guitar. He's
a multi-instrument.
I love that there was this was exciting, a little point of contention here.
I think of him as a bass player because I've always played. The only times I played with him, he's played bass, so I forget. He has his own band. He can play guitar as well.
He seems he likes to be known as a guitar player.
I also play drums, and I call myself a drummer. But
I never knew you played
more
guitar.
records playing guitar than I have playing drums. So I must tell you something about my
name's
shitty
Ben.
drumming.
Ben, right?
Ben, yes.
So Ben does. Wait, you're in the middle of talking about Ben.
Yeah, Ben Riddell. Ben Riddell plays guitar.
Yeah,
and often plays bass.
Yep.
We had a kid there, Marshall, who played drums brilliantly.
Better than you?
No.
Very different style.
You can tell him I said that. We have different styles.
Okay, so we had Marshall. Marshall's gone. Who else?
Johnny O'Donnell, our first manager, who is the only real long-term Bedrockian that's not there because he moved to Panama? Not Panama.
Brazil.
He was really cool guitar player and frontman, singer. He had his own band, and his stuff was very interesting and odd time, and I had to play on some of it, and it was quite a challenge. But everybody that works there is almost everyone I can think of is some type of musician or maybe engineer.
Yeah, Eric plays guitar also, and engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Meg plays guitar. A lot of guitar. I was a drummer for a while. Now I mess around with guitar. But yeah, everybody plays something,
Okay, final question.
Yes, because I have to depart promptly in 4 minutes.
Well, okay, 2 more questions. What would you do if you weren't doing Bedrock?
Ooh, wow, that's a hard question. I'd probably work in sports. Love sports. I know music and sports technically aren't a thing that people think of together, and I always struggle being in a music community and finding people that are into sports. Although I've found some.
Phil would probably be an NFL linebacker if he had his way.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be a tight end. No, I'm just kidding. I'd work in some kind of sports management role, I think, is what I would do.
Ooh, like recording in that line, or just actually just management, like
Management. Yeah, like work at an agency or something, like sports agency or something like that.
oh, I don't even know what those jobs do. I just know there's
Professional sports players have agents.
that's cool. So that's your like plan B.
I mean, I'm hoping I don't really need a plan B at this point. It's been a while.
He's been on his plan A for quite a while, and we are definitely going to continue that.
What's your plan B?
I never have a plan B. My plans are numbered.
Plan two?
I am doing everything I want to be doing. I'm still making music, and we've still got Bedrock going, and maybe someday we'll have something out here going. And I'm still doing brand design and digital stuff for people that want that kind of shit done. I don't know what else I would do. I really have no marketable skills. My degree's in music. I don't know what I'd be good at.
Maybe he could hire
Washing
you.
cars. When I was a kid, I had a car washing business. I could probably get back into that.
I say maybe Phil can hire you at a sports agency.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
If you need a custodian.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What does us having the same birthday mean?
Yeah. We have talked about no.
I mean, come on. We have the same birthday. This is such a good setup.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
You know what? It's a good example about how you can have the same sun sign in completely different charts. So I feel maybe part of the reason you get along together is you guys are so focused on work. You have the Capricorn drive, but then as we see from your birthday story, you have the sort of party. It feels like there's a bit of party goat in each of you, right? Like work hard, play hard. But other than that, I feel like you have completely different charts. You have this like lovely, it's very sensitive Cancer moon. I'm using,
talking about Phil.
Yeah. I'm using very big, right, like cliches here, but it's totally true, right? I feel like Cancer moons are a little more sensitive and thoughtful, and they want emotional connection. And I spent enough time with you to know that your like fiery Aries moon gets hot real quick. That's why I was like, ooh, maybe you have the worst temper out of the two of you. But you're both run by Saturn, right? Which is why you're sitting here wearing black.
I'm wearing my Max Sabbath t-shirt. Just shout out to Max Sabbath real quick.
And I didn't think about to mention. There's so many. That's the problem. You can't remember everybody.
Yeah.
So Max Sabbath is this amazing, don't call them a tribute band, but they play Black Sabbath music, but with fast food lyrics, and are on stage as the original, like, McDonald's characters, like Grimace, Hamburglar.
You were talking about that.
But like devil versions of them almost, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like, super.
I want to interview them.
Phil set that up for you. Phil's their agent.
Really?
No.
I can set you up with them maybe.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's another interesting thing is we've had a lot of Black Sabbath cover bands come through Bedrock.
Oh, yeah, Black Sabbath, Max Sabbath. I don't know what other ones.
A lot of Rosies.
See, it's getting really good. It takes a while to warm up in an interview, but unfortunately, Cosmo scheduled a phone call. Usually we just let these live.
I thought this whole thing was really good.
No, it's getting good, but I'm saying it's getting warmer. We're talking about your moons.
Keep talking.
No, I don't want to keep him. We can do this again and we could chop it together, but this, this cover band thing is getting really exciting. Last question for you. Do you ever miss Long Island?
No.
Just like I don't.
Let me think about it. No.
You grew up on Little Islands.
I did.
You grew up in islands.
I grew up on Balboa Island. No joke.
That's true.
So Phil and I were born on the same day and both lived on islands. And I don't know if
are you left-handed?
Well, see, this is a point of contention. I feel like I would have been left-handed.
I have somebody knocking at my door.
Okay.
Do we need to let them in?
That originally I thought I might be left-handed, but the teachers forced me to be right-handed. So I don't honestly know.
But you can play drums with both.
You do play. Drummers have
Well, you said you had to practice to get better.
Unless you're a Def Leppard, yes.
But you're left-handed.
I am left-handed, yes, correct.
What do you know about
And
you?
I'd say the majority of people that work at Bedrock are left-handed. Eric is left-handed. Ben is left-handed. Johnny.
I don't think Ben is left-handed. Jake's is left-handed, though.
Jake's. I was thinking of Jake's. Sorry.
Can we just point out on this live stream, there's been one person the entire time, and I'd love to know who they are. And can we just have, I hope it's the same person. Can we have a moment of gratitude?
I'm going to say it's Meg. That's my guess. I'm going to guess it's Meg. This person's still at my door. Give me 1 second.
Oh, look, we can look at his background while he's doing that.
Yeah. That's the ceiling.
Yeah.
It appears there's a light there.
It looks sharp.
Yeah.
There's a
Hope
reflection.
there's not an earthquake.
Me too. That would be really bad. It is sun. We are having the Sun-Uranus connection today. Anything could happen. Be prepared.
Bill, it's been a pleasure to see you and talk to you. CV, as always. I must go.
I'm gonna let go of all of you. Not physically.
Namaste.
But
motherfuckers.
Yeah. Because thanks, Phil.
Bye, Phil.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
I really do have to get.
I know. I'm going to stay down here. I'm going to say goodbye to Phil.
Bye, Cosmo. Whatever.
Bye. Have a beautiful day.
You too.